is welcoming you to Hope TV News Watch here on the station where you look and live. My name is Melissa Odwor. My sign language interpreter is Boniface Mureithi, and News Watch begins now. Interior Cabinet Secretary Dr. Fred Matiang'i has urged the national administration officials to explore dialogue as means of avoiding violent confrontations ahead of the 2022 general elections. Speaking at the Kenya School of Government on Wednesday, where he presided over a meeting bringing together regional commissioners from across the 47 counties, the CS urged county security heads to explore more engagement in dialogue as opposed to use of force ahead of the elections to suppress protests. Matiang'i also hinted on possible lockdown of some counties in Western and Nyanza to enhance COVID-19 containment. Dolly Murigi tells us more.
The government has asked members of the public to portray political maturity ahead of the general elections in order to reduce tension and have a meaningful election. Matiang'i, while presiding over a meeting with regional and county commissioner and security status in the country on Wednesday, said the police bosses should divide from old tactics of using force, but instead invest more energy in conversations.
If we can minimize, even by over 50%, any use of force during this period, it will be very good for our country. Because the advancement and the development of our country is not just going to be measured in the number of projects we have completed, the number of things we are able to do, the infrastructure that we are putting up. It should also be measured by the level of political maturity we have acquired over the years.
Police officers are known to use force ahead of elections to suppress protest, with the CS saying the county commissioners should partner with youth community and faith-based organizations in discussion that will boost people's confidence.
We need to invest more of our energy, not just in enforcement and pushing people, but more of our energy in conversations. Time is here for us to begin to socialize our people. That is not good enough to have peaceful elections. It's good enough to have peaceful and meaningful elections. That people understand really what this electoral process is all about.
Matiang'i further lauded county commissioners for enforcing COVID-19 containment measures, saying that they had shown resilience and greater collaboration with other government agencies. However, the CS noted the government may be forced to enhance COVID-19 containment measures in Nyanza and Western counties amid a surge in infections.
And even as we challenge the surge in the western part of our country, affecting especially the Nyanza counties and partly western Kenya counties, I know we are up to the task. The National Emergency Response Committee has been meeting regularly. I think by the end of today, we will have a position and we will consult closely amongst ourselves and with the President, and a decision will be made on how we will enhance the containment measures, because it's now becoming absolutely necessary that we enhance containment measures in the Nyanza counties and in parts of western Kenya.
Kisumu County has in the recent days recorded high numbers of COVID-19 infections, with public and private hospitals in the county overstretching their capacities as more cases of COVID-19 emerge. Dolly Wirigi, Hope TV, News Watch.
The church in Kenya, in collaboration with the National Cohesion and Integration Commission, NCIC, has come together for a conversation at a proposed leadership summit on church and politics. The summit, which began on Wednesday, is set to end on Friday, the 18th of June in Nairobi. Now, the first day of the summit today drew lessons from the church in Africa and other parts of the world, particularly focusing on the USA, where the 2020 elections brought to the fore serious questions about the role of the church in politics.
The question of whether the church should be involved in politics is as old as human civilization itself. From ancient times, kings went out of their way to prove that their authority had been divinely ordained and divinely inspired. In recent times, it is not only Donald Trump who said he had a divine calling. We also know that Each prophet is not worth his salt in Kenya today unless he predicts who God has chosen for us in 2022.
Throughout the history of the church, there has existed a tension among some Christians that the church and politics need to be separated. We need to separate ourselves from the affairs of the world, especially from politics. The picture that has been painted is based on the age-old adage that politics is dirty. And so, because Christians are supposed to be righteous, you should be as far as possible from politics. Many Christians therefore view those getting into politics as plunging themselves into a dangerous world of evil and the abyss of corruption. Likewise, many churches have made it their written or unwritten policy never to engage with political affairs. They maintain a deaf ear and a blind eye to all matters to do with politics. But is politics that bad?
First Lady Margaret Kenyatta's Beyond Zero initiative has received a 1.3 million shilling grant from the Slovak government to boost its campaign against fistula. Now, the grant is part of the ongoing support the Slovak government has been giving Kenya's health sector. The signing of the grant was witnessed by Slovak Deputy Head of Mission Kamila Kukova and Ms. Vivian Ngugi, the Head of Communication in the Office of the First Lady. Alice Dana reports.
The 1.3 million shillings grant channeled to Beyond Zero through the Slovak Aid was signed on Wednesday at the Slovak Embassy in Nairobi by Ambassador František Dlopolček and Beyond Zero coordinator Angela Langat. Speaking during the brief signing ceremony, Ambassador Dlopolček said his office looked forward to working more closely with the Beyond Zero initiative, especially in addressing the plight of women suffering from fistula.
We are looking forward to cooperate closely with Beyond Zero, because I think the public awareness about the problems is very important. Really, we appreciate what you are doing. We are very happy to cooperate with Beyond Zero, because we said that the First Lady, somehow we consider her for some kind of mentor of our cooperation.
He singled out health, agriculture and education as his country's main areas of focus in Kenya. On her part, Langat appreciated the financial support extended to Beyond Zero, saying it will go a long way towards treating women suffering from fistula. Previously, the Slovak government supported cardiac surgeries on 10 children with complex congenital heart diseases performed by Slovak doctors in partnership with their counterparts at Mater Hospital in Nairobi in March 2019, an event that was witnessed by First Lady Margaret Kenyatta. This was followed in July last year by a donation of 26 million shillings COVID-19 response supplies that included testing kits, personal protective equipment, respirators, sanitizer, clothing and shoes to the office of the First Lady. For Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Alice Diana.
Kenya has today joined the world in commemorating the International Day of the African Child. Celebrated on the 16th of June every year, the day is marked in memory of children in South Africa who died in protest of the inferior quality of education in 1976. Here in Kenya, the commemoration comes despite rising cases of violence, harm, exploitation, neglect, trafficking and abuse of children. According to a report by the National Crime Research Center 2020, there was a 205.6% increase in the total number of cases of violations of children's rights between 2017 and 2019. Now, the report indicates that defilement, child neglect, child custody and child abandonment are the most common forms of violations facing children in Kenya. Tiffany Wamboi gives us a detailed report.
Wanachama wa eneo baraza la ushauri, wageni mashuhuri, wadau, washirika.
Having attained 30 years since the adoption of the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of Children, this year's theme of the International Day of the African Child is aimed at highlighting the need to implement Agenda 2040, which aims to foster and restore dignity for African children.
The adoption of the Charter, accelerating implementation of Agenda 2040 for an Africa fit for children. This bill emphasizes on the need for us to create an environment that allows children to thrive and enjoy holistic growth and development, and hence fully implement the African Charter on the Rights and Welfare of the Child.
The theme further calls upon African states to spearhead the enactment of the African Charter to further protect the rights of children.
The African Children's Charter seeks to provide an effective continental framework for advancing children's rights. 2. The existence of an effective child-friendly national legislative policy and institutional framework in all member states.
The day is therefore observed as a celebration of the African child and calls for serious introspection and commitment towards addressing the numerous challenges facing children across the continent.
As a country, our quest for the successful implementation of Agenda 2040 and our achievements so far have been anchored on our desire to create an enabling legal and policy framework for the child rights and welfare, our continued endeavor to establish and strengthen institutions, structures, programs for the effective implementation of the rights of children.
Kenya has established national machinery responsible for promoting the rights and welfare of children.
Every other sector engage in sound support to ensure that the welfare of children is considered with utmost importance at all levels of the society, upbringing and even schooling.
The Ministry of Labour and Social Protection has meanwhile acknowledged the policies and structures the government of Kenya has inaugurated to protect the welfare and rights of children, such as child protection units in police stations and at the Directorate of Criminal Investigations.
Today, as we mark this year's Day of the African Child 2021 celebrations, this day was first celebrated in Kenya in June 1991 and has since become an annual event that provides us with an opportunity to take stock of the gains and gaps in safeguarding the rights and welfare of our children. This year's celebration is being commemorated under the theme 30 years after.
To further prevent abuse, promote, and protect children's rights, the government has put up structures such as a Children's Division and Anti-FGM Unit at the Office of the Director of Public Prosecutions, just to mention a few. Reporting of cases of child abuse has also been enhanced through the establishment of the National Toll-Free Child Line and, in some counties, dedicated hotlines. Reporting for Hope TV Newswatch, I'm Tiffany Wamboi.
We now take our first short break here on Hope TV Newswatch. More news items are lined up after this commercial break.
Only God can turn a mess into a message.
I have a boy on a wheelchair.
Yeah.
I'm still preaching on the pulpit.
Amen.
Niliona mguu ya nyuma inakuja tu kunikanyaga, imenilenga tu kwa tumbo. Nikaitana tu Jesus.
I got tired of working with the X-ray papers, and one day I just woke up and decided to burn them.
A test into a testimony.
The whole community didn't want to hear that anybody is born again. Excommunicated straight.
Bila Yesu hakuna njia.
Join Sharon Naitore Wangenye on Testify.
Katika hiyo harakati hiyo spirit kakemewa, mimi nimeona Yesu Kristo namna hii. Kwa msalaba. Opa. Hallelujah. Hallelujah.
Every Thursday at 8 p.m. for a moment to grow your faith some more.
Welcome back to News Watch. Now, the Ministry of Health has reported that there have been no COVID-19 deaths reported in the past 24 hours. This leaves the total fatalities at 3,428. This even as 485 people have tested positive for COVID-19 from a sample size of 5,355 tested in the last 24 hours. The positivity rate is now at 9.1%. Total confirmed positive cases are now 176,622, and cumulative tests so far conducted are 1,881,460. According to the Ministry of Health, 312 more COVID-19 patients have recovered, 219 from home-based isolation care program, and 93 from different hospitals, raising the total to 121,206. On the vaccination front, 1,155,745 vaccines have been administered so far. Of these, 991,184 are first doses, while 164,561 people have received their second dose. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health has assured medical workers, including doctors and other Kenyans who were eligible for the second dose of the vaccine and had missed their dose at designated COVID-19 vaccination centers, that they will get their doses as soon as they become available. In a statement, the ministry said it had particularly noted concerns made through the Kenya Medical Practitioners, Pharmacists and Dentists Union. The statement added that, as was the case with the first dose, doctors and other health workers will be given priority and called for patience. The Nairobi Water and Sewerage Company has announced plans to shut down water supply along Uhuru Highway for 24 hours due to ongoing construction of the expressway. According to the Water and Sewerage Company, the shutdown is expected to take effect from 6 a.m. tomorrow, Thursday, the 17th of June 2021, to Friday, 18th of June 2021 at 6 a.m. The water supplier said the disruption will facilitate the interconnection of the new and old water pipelines on the Uhuru Highway between Museum Hill and the KBC area. It will further enable the release of the road medium to the express road contractor. Areas to be affected include the whole of the city center, areas along Mombasa Road, South B and South C area, and the neighborhoods. Other areas include the University of Nairobi main campus, Coca-Cola factory, the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, EPZ Athi River, the whole of industrial area, and areas along Jogoo Road that include City Stadium, Maringo, Bahati, Buruburu, and the surrounding estates. Uasin Gishu County Executive Committee member for Finance and Economic Planning, CPA Julius Ruto, has revealed that the upcoming budget for the county will put more emphasis on ensuring ongoing projects are completed, as well as supporting locals who have been economically affected by the COVID-19 pandemic. Speaking in Eldoret Town, Ruto said the budget statement, which he is expected to table at the County Assembly next week, will see an increase in the allocation of bursary from 90 million shillings to 120 million shillings, a move that is informed by many locals needing financial support for their children's education. The CECM also said that the Biashara Fund will be another beneficiary to help business entities affected by the pandemic. He added that there will be no allocation for new projects across the country, as most of the funds will be channeled towards ensuring the ongoing ones are fully completed and equipped before 2022. Some of the key ongoing projects include the Ziwa Level 5 Hospital, which is now at 50% completion, and the Kasese Sub-County Hospital, which is 60% complete.
Uasin Gishu County Government, among the 47 county governments, by the law of Kenya Constitution and County Government Act, and of course the Public Finance Management Act, we are due to make our budget statement for the coming financial year 2021-2022. Already, as per the law and the budget circular, we submitted our budget estimates, proposal to County Assembly, which they have deliberated in consultation, because budget is always a consultative document and it's a process. Now we are geared to present a statement as a CC for Finance and the Head of Treasury for County Government of Uasin Gishu. I'll be tabling a budget statement at the Honorable House of County Government of Uasin Gishu Assembly probably next week. That is, we are looking at that, looking at the timetable of the House, and once I get that communication, I'll be able to appear and table the statement. In the statement that we are going to present, it will indicate the main focus of our budget that is coming in. And all of us, we understand that we've come from a difficult situation, of course, that is still underway. Challenges that was brought in by the COVID-19 pandemic and its effects. We understand, despite the fact that the effects and the impact on our healthy lives and livelihoods, our economical livelihoods has been affected so much. The protocols that were pronounced by the national government to curb the spread has affected negatively the growth of the business and the economy of the country, so that the dependency only on the revenues to be generated has been skewed towards some limited areas. But the main contributors of our revenue to the national government that is shared for ensuring we finance our activities has been affected. Nonetheless, to say that our budget now is also driven, is also guided as a government and responsible government to focus primarily on the issues of upscaling the lives of our people, absorbing the challenges they are faced. One of it is to look at the issues of bursaries. We have lifted our bursaries from 90 million to 120 million. That is one key area that we've developed proposals so that we're able to absorb families who have been affected so much adversely by these effects. We are looking at the areas of Inua Biashara. These are the economic entities that we are trying to see how are we going to lift this Wamama Mboga to remain in that entity or that business. We are looking at programs to focus on our youths in agribusiness. We have also lifted Inua Kijana Naeka, Inua Mama na Kuku, so that we're able to feel for them.
Residents of Giribi in Suna West, Migori County will have their long water shortage crisis solved if the proposed Giribi Dam is completed within the proposed one-year period. Governor Zachary Obado, while addressing Giribi residents after the dam groundbreaking ceremony at Wasimbete Ward, highlighted that the Earth Dam will immensely improve the livelihoods of his people. Giribi Earth Dam is projected to serve and benefit directly 1,260 homesteads in Suna West and 6,300 indirect residents in Kuria and some parts of Migori County. The project will cover a total area of 304 hectares and will be funded with 36 million by the National Agricultural and Rural Inclusive Growth Project NARIGUP in partnership with the county government of Migori.
This is a dam that was constructed by the colonial government way back in 1958. And it has really been silted. So we are going to desilt it and restore it to its original size. This dam will go a long way in improving the livelihoods of this place. We intend to use the waters here for doing potato irrigation. And already we have a potato processing factory in a place around here called Getonganya. So if the farmers here will embrace our ideas and turn into productive farming of that potato, obviously their livelihoods will change. And by and large, I want to say that my Department for Agriculture has embarked on deliberate efforts that will ensure that our lives are transformed.
Tumekuja sababu ya hii kazi nzuri, lakini tulikuwa tunasema kwamba jameni, support watu ambao wanaenda kufanya kazi mahali hapa. Sisi kama Suna West, sisi sio watu ambao tumependa kupiga kelele. Tukiletewa maendeleo kama haya, tafadhali hakikisha kwamba umesupport. Ukiona mahali ambayo haiendelei vizuri, ofisi yangu iko wazi. Umeona governor amefungua rasmi kuchimbwa kwa bwawa hili. Hivyo basi mahali popote upo, niongee kwa Kiswahili maana hii kitu inaenda sehemu mbalimbali, nimeambiwa hivyo. So hivyo basi ukiwa mahali hapa, support hii kazi.
Fish farming, or as my director Henry is calling it, feast farming, is gaining momentum in central Kenya as attested by the increasing demand for certified fingerlings. Nyeri County has placed an order worth 1 million shillings of fingerlings at the Sagana Aquaculture Research Center in Kirinyaga County, which was a clear manifestation of the commitment of the county to improve fish farming in the area. Farmers in that county would have a good start since their ponds will be stocked with certified fingerlings supplied free as to boost the sector. The country is now only able to produce 160,000 metric tons. There was a deficit of 350,000 metric tons a year, which are imported to cover up the huge balance.
Fish farming is on the rise in the central part of Kenya as the demand for fish and its proteins is increasing. According to Fisheries Principal Secretary Francis Owino, Nyeri County has committed 1 million shillings worth of fingerlings at the Sagana Aquaculture Research Center. Owino has said that the county has displayed a clear manifestation of coming up with a better fish farm by improving on the sector.
With the onset of the blue economy concept, the government has put a lot of emphasis not just in capture fishing, but in aquaculture. And this is one of our biggest national infrastructure for aquaculture development. We have inspected the facility that is going to have a hatchery, that is going to have laboratories, that is going to have fisheries to supplement the infrastructure that already exists at this center in Sagana.
Addressing the media at the center, Owino said that the county has maximum potential for the fishing sector, adding that it is encouraging that the sector is headed in the right direction as farmers have the urge to venture in aquaculture.
In this region, we are very, very lucky that the communities have taken fishing, eating fish as primarily as food, and therefore we are looking at very, very good resources going forward.
The ministry has set aside funds to stabilize the farmers against bad days, with the fishing farming culture has been incorporated as a learning session in several schools across the country.
If you recall, about a week ago, His Excellency the President relaunched the 4K Club program for all the schools in the country, and from the fishing sector we are looking at an opportunity of developing and inculcating the culture of producing fish at the school level. We call it aquaponics, and we have seen one of the components in this site is basically having tanks and having a conditioned environment for production on fish. In the same time, having students to learn how fish is produced, but also give them an opportunity to share the meal of fish that they have produced themselves. We have, how many schools now? 55 schools as we speak. In this financial year, we are going to add another 30 schools throughout the country.
Kirinyaga County is leading in aquaculture farming in the region, with the county government coming up with supportive measures for new farmers where it supplied pond liners and fish feeds for 6 months. Velma Maresa, Hope TV Newswatch.
Let's take another short break now. When we return, we shall look at the day's business news.
From country music, classical quartet harmonics,
now I'm a child,
homecoming series,
for he saved the worst among
tent revival, and many more.
Gonna lay down my burden down by the riverside, down by the riverside.
Watch these great musical adventures on The Bill Gaither Show, featuring Gaither Vocal Band, Linda Randall,
For the God on the mountain,
and many other series like The Alaskan Cruise.
and now I'm feeling mighty fine.
These gospel favorites, recorded in front of beautiful sceneries, guaranteed to rejuvenate your love for gospel music. Bill Gaither Show, only on Hope TV, where you look and live.
Our Christian life is not just about God always stepping in when you are in trouble. But sometimes you need to go through the valley of the shadow of death, and God will say, angels, stand away. He must go through that. She must go through that. Because out of this would come something greater and more beautiful.
The Kenya Electricity Generating Company, KenGen, has joined the UN-backed Universal Campaign to combat global warming, becoming the first public service agency in Kenya to do so. The campaign, dubbed Business Ambition for 1.50C, is backed by a global coalition of the United Nations leaders, business organizations, and non-governmental organizations, NGOs. By committing to this ambition, KenGen is expected to establish emission reduction targets through investments in green and clean energy that will go a long way in limiting the Earth's warming by 1.5 degrees centigrade as per the Paris Agreement of 2015. Under this arrangement, the company commits to annually disclose its greenhouse gas emissions as a way of checking and reducing its carbon footprint. Speaking soon after receiving confirmation on its admission to the business ambition for 1.5 degrees centigrade, KenGen Managing Director and CEO Rebecca Miano said the platform reiterates the organization's position as a regional business champion and pace-setter in the climate change action. KenGen is a participant member of the United Nations Global Compact UNGC since May 2019. The Global Compact is a non-binding United Nations pact to encourage businesses worldwide to adopt sustainable and socially responsible policies and to report on their implementation. The UNGC Kenya is the local network office that spearheads and catalyzes actions aimed at promoting good business practices. Equity America Express card members can now redeem their points through a newly revamped website with more redemption options. The membership rewards website, recently relaunched by Equity and American Express, now offers a wider variety of premium gifts, electronics, merchandise, and travel opportunities through a new portal with an improved customer experience. Speaking after the launch of the website, Equity Kenya Managing Director Gerald Warui said the rollout of the portal is in line with the bank's strategy to integrate technological advancement to its payment sector to make Equity cards the preferred payment option for customers. Equity American Express card members can earn membership reward points when they spend on their cards.
The rollout of the portal is in line with the bank's strategy to integrate technological advancement to its payment sector to make Equity cards the preferred payment option for customers. We as Equity are delighted to continue strengthening our relationship with American Express as their exclusive partner in Kenya. We are confident that our partnership will continue to bring a high quality, premium level of service to our customers. This new website will give Equity Bank American Express card members an elevated experience when using their cards in Kenya and elsewhere in the world because of the improved benefits available to them.
Diamond Trust Bank has partnered with Story Moja Publishers to commemorate the International Day of the African Child as Kenyan learners participated in the global Read Aloud competition. International Day of the African Child is celebrated annually on June 16 to raise awareness of the continuing need for improvement on the education provided to the African children. The signature event in Kenya took place at Farasilin Primary School in Lower Kabete, where pupils read aloud an extract from Attack of the Shidas, a book that aims to sensitize children on issues around ethnic tolerance, children's rights, and unity in diversity. Endorsed by the Ministry of Sports, Culture and Heritage, the initiative gathers learners from over 1,000 Kenyan schools who read from the same book at the same time in multiple locations countrywide in an attempt to break the Guinness World Record on people reading aloud at the same time. Alvin Mokaya, the head of digital at DTB, said the bank's donation of books and participation at the event was in line with the bank's focus on development.
So the role we are playing as a bank is twofold. One, we have been able to buy several copies of the book they are reading, which is Attack of the Shidas. And these books are being distributed to over 100 schools nationwide. Secondly is, together with my colleagues, we decided to come and join the children and read them and just create that culture that reading is actually cool and reading does lead to other opportunities in life. If you read, you can understand, and once you understand, then there's really nothing you cannot do. So we are here to support the children to develop that reading culture.
Read aloud in celebration of the Day of the African Child is just children raising their voices to say that if we are united, then we can be able to defeat anything. But also just saying reading is important. So it's very important to have libraries in our schools. It's very important for us to have a reading culture so that then we can excel even in our academics. We prep for close to a year, 6 to 12 months ideally, and we reach out to teachers and schools directly, and also different organizations that work with schools, just to be able to coordinate that. And we need to get teachers to have bought into the idea, to also get excited enough, because then the teachers are the ones who excite the children. And then they're the ones who then are going to remain in the schools with a vision to continue with the reading culture, not just during the Read Aloud Day.
I learned about Story Moja when I joined this school because of the follow-up of the library. And so we have been in contact with them. And last week is when they informed us of what is going to happen, and we were so much prepared for it.
On the international scene, British lawyer Karim Khan has taken up the role of ICC prosecutor after the term of Fatou Bensouda of Gambia came to an end. Khan, who has defended high-profile Kenyans before, took his oath of office while vowing to bring to an end impunity and atrocities in countries around the world. The 51-year-old has enormous experience as a prosecutor, defender, and investigating attorney, whose experience will be relied upon to steer the court founded on the Rome Statute. Fatou Bensouda's term as the prosecutor of the court ended on Tuesday after 9 years. Previous occupants of the office, Luis Moreno Campo and Bensouda, have managed to collectively secure 5 significant convictions between them in 18 years.
Active prosecutor of the International Criminal Court by the Assembly of States Parties, I ask you to raise your right hand and, in accordance with Article 45 and Rule 5 of the Rules of Procedure and Evidence, pledge your solemn undertaking.
I, Karim Asad Ahmed Khan, solemnly undertake that I will perform my duties and exercise my powers as prosecutor of the International Criminal Court honorably, faithfully, impartially, and conscientiously, and that I will respect the confidentiality of investigations and prosecutions.
Congratulations, Mr. President.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
And France is lifting mandatory mask wearing outdoors and will halt an 8-month nightly coronavirus curfew on the 20th of June. The announcement was made by French Prime Minister Jean Castex and comes as France is now registering about 3,900 new daily virus cases on average, down from 35,000 in the March-April peak. Castex welcomed the very good news and said the curfew will be lifted on Sunday, 10 days earlier than expected. Over 58% of France's adult population has received at least one COVID-19 vaccine. On Tuesday, the European Union nation opened its vaccination programs to 12 to 18-year-olds as part of a push to protect the nation as restrictions are gradually being lifted. Look at sports now. Safaricom has announced a 17.5 million shillings sponsorship for the Safari Rally as the event makes its return to the World Rally Championship calendar for the first time in close to 2 decades. The sponsorship includes 15 million shillings, which will go towards supporting 3 young Kenyan drivers selected as part of the FIA Rally Star program. Joseph Mainge has more.
As the country prepares for the return of the World Rally Championship calendar in the home soil for the first time in close to 2 decades, various corporates have continued to pump financial support towards the event. Already, telco company Safaricom PLC has announced a 17.5 million sponsorship for the Safari Rally. The sponsorship includes 15 million, which will go towards supporting 3 young Kenyan drivers selected as part of the World Rally Championship Rally Stars program. This is a global initiative aimed at identifying, training and developing talents for young drivers between the age of 17 and 26.
I've invested $1 billion shillings in the past 20 years in sports, whether that is football, golf, athletics, and will continue to be involved as part of transforming lives, but primarily to empower youth and really to showcase our talent, to take them to a new level, to take them to a global level. And it's great to see the 3 rally drivers sitting here as the youth of the future.
The 3 drivers who have been selected from the FIA Rally Stars program include Jeremy Wahome, Hamza Anwar, who are both 22 years, as well as Makrin Mutwiri Kimathi, who is 26 years. According to the president of the Kenya Motorsport Federation, who is also the CEO of World Rally Championship, the Safari Rally, Phineas Kimathi, the ultimate objective of the FIA Rally Stars program is to develop drivers who have the potential to become future stars of the World Rally Championship by encouraging the emergence of a new generation of drivers.
This program is meant to guarantee the future of motorsports in the world. And it is also meant to guarantee the future of rallying in the world. We can't guarantee the future by celebrating the veterans. We can only guarantee the future by growing new stars.
A total of 58 rally drivers, including 34 Kenyan racers, are set to participate in this year's Safari Rally, which will take place from the 24th to the 27th of this month. Local tourism is also set to benefit immensely from the World Rally Championship's cumulative global TV audience of over 850 million viewers across both the mainstream and social media. Speaking separately, Tourism Cabinet Secretary Najib Balala has said that the event is a great moment and a timely opportunity to showcase magical Kenya brands.
This event is not just an event. It's a big event for Kenya. It's an event that is going to be beamed internationally, and that confirms that Kenya is a destination that can host an international event like this one, and many that have been mentioned earlier. But today is my day to say congratulations to the rally drivers. We are counting on you, on winning, but also it's a win for Kenya.
The safari will benefit from 24 hours of live coverage in 155 TV markets. Kenya is also hoping to plant 18 million trees across the Safari Rally route to celebrate this year's event that has been out of the World Rally Championship Series. Joseph Maingi, Hope TV News Watch Sports.
Tusker FC suffered a major setback in their FKF Premier League title challenge after a humiliating loss against Posta Rangers in one of the top-flight matches staged yesterday afternoon at the Ruaraka grounds. The Mailmen, coached by former Harambee Stars tactician Francis Okumbi, stunned the Brewers 1-0 after substitute Josephat Lopanga struck on 80th minute to deny the 11-time champions the opportunity to go 5 points clear at the top of the 17-team league. Cristiano Ronaldo became the greatest goal scorer in the history of the European Championship finals after netting a brace in Portugal's 3-0 win against Hungary's last night. All three of Portugal's goals came in an 8-minute bliss later on, with Rafael Guerreiro's deflected shot breaking the deadlock in the 84th minute. An own goal by Mats Hummels was enough to give France a 1-0 victory over Germany in their opening Euro 2020 Group F match last night, as the sluggish-looking hosts lost their opening fixture at the European Championship for the first time. The world champions took the lead in the 20th minute when midfielder Paul Pogba's superb breaking pass was fired back across the goal by Lucas Hernandez, and defender Hummels shanked the ball into his own net as he tried to clear. On that upbeat note, we conclude Newswatch tonight. Thank you for keeping me company. My name is Melissa Odor. My able sign language interpreter has been Boniface Muredi. Have a wonderful evening.